Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. We continue reading from Imam Al-Ghazali's Al-Quran with the juz of Quran and spares. And we are still reading Surah Al-Najm, and we'll continue. Practically, still almost at the beginning, we paved the way that the first verses do. There is an oath that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala took by the star, and we mentioned the position of the stars, the fading star, and we said many things about the movement of the sun. A very complex, amazing universe on a scale that one cannot even fathom, and that's we still probably there are other parts of the universe that we are not aware of. So the answer to the oath is the Prophet ﷺ, your fellow man, meaning the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, is neither misguided nor astray, nor does he speak of his own whims. The Quran is revelation, and every single letter in the Quran is a testimony to that. It is only a revelation sent down to him, to Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. And who was because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose from amongst the angels and amongst the people, the human beings, messengers, and it's the archangel Gabriel, Jibril alayhi salam. He has been taught by one angel of mighty power. Inshallah, we'll read the Arabic and Allah Mushid al we have spoken about this, of mighty power and great perfection, who once rose to his true form. The idea is that the Jibreel salam appeared to the Prophet sallam twice in his original angelic form. Typically, the angel, all angels, when they appear before human beings, they take anthropomorphic form. Remember the men who passed by Prophet Abraham, said Ibrahim alayhi salam, on their way to the people of Lot, they looked like human beings. This is why he prepared for them food. And in the Quran, they do not eat, they refrain. And in the Old Testament, they do. And obviously, the Quran is it has the upper hand. Whenever we differ, the Quran has the upper hand. They do not eat. So he appeared twice to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu in his original form. Once it was filling the horizon, and the second time, the other time, it was during the night journey. So we'll just read the Arabic, the Quran, and move forward. أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم علم مرة فاستوى. He has been taught by one angel of mighty power and great perfection, who once rose to his true form, وهو بالأفق الأعلى, while on the highest point above the horizon. And the horizon is not just a line. The horizon is you have the lower part of the horizon, you have the highest point of the horizon. So he was just highest point, just above the horizon. ثم دنا فتدلى. Then he approached the Prophet ﷺ, coming so close. How close? فكان قاب قوسين أو أدنى. قاب قوسين. قاب in Arabic is مقدار. It's a measurement, if you will, because the قوس is known. The قاب قوسين is the equivalent of two bow draws, two bows, if you will. Bows as in archery. So when you draw the string, the line. So two measurements of these, or even less. And when it says or adna, to emphasize that it is, in this case here, it is definitive. It is not used here as a figure of speech, which is possible, by the way, to use it as a figure of speech allegorically. So you can use it as a distance here, but also you can use it for other things. There's a line of poetry, for example. We can use so many examples. ولا تقنطوا من بارق الفوز إنني أرى الفوز منكم. Do not despair of winning. I see that winning is close to you. قاب قوسين أو أدنى. These two bow draws. Here, in this case, in this poetry, it is allegorical, if you will. It's not a real, because winning is not a distance. I mean, it's not something that could be. It's not that they are 3 meters away from winning, unless you talk about someone who is really running a marathon or the whatever. But here it's about people winning, achieving, etc. فكان قاب قوسين أو أدنى. In fact, it's it's kind of funny, but it also alludes to what's going on in the world in terms of what feminists, the radical feminist movement, push things too far. Considering the radical feminism considers men as the enemy, the camp of the enemy, using belligerent narratives. So there's something it has been said من مطالبة الرجل المساواة مع المرأة. We are two two bow draws away from men asking for equality with women. Like this is, and it's just simply homes are messed up because of this. That's not the point here, but homes are literally messed up. The social order really in the society, the notion of achievement, people, and I can sum up this an American, not a Muslim, so that we can say that this is really Islam. And no, an American woman, not a Muslim, said, "I am tired." Who said that we should basically work outside the home and achieve? And she said, "I'm tired. I would like to be like." She would like to be at home, not jumping. If you have kids, you just get up very early and just prepare the kids, send them to school or preschool, and then you go to work, and then you come back from work and you start working another shift at home. For what? فكان قاب قوسين أو أدنى فأوحى إلى عبده ما أوحى. So Allah, this is there's in the word فأوحى, this is إلى عبده, it's obvious. It is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who revealed to his servant, to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu whatever he revealed, ما أوحى, through, obviously through Gabriel, though he is not mentioned directly, but the context is obviously the suffix pronoun. Or sometimes it's in this case, sometimes we have the pronoun, it's assumed. ما كذب الفؤاد, the Prophet's heart did not doubt what he saw. What is it that he saw, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? There's a hadith. First of all, in the Quran, it does say لا تدرك الأبصار وهو يدرك الأبصار. Our sight cannot basically perceive Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Talk about the eyes, and this is why this is very accurate. It's the Prophet ﷺ saw whatever he saw with his heart. And when the Prophet ﷺ was asked whether he saw Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Mi'raj, in the sort of the journey at night, the Isra, Mi'raj is basically the ascension. So when he was asked, and this is in Sahih Muslim, Abu Dharr al-Ghifari radiallahu anh, he asked the Prophet ﷺ, هل رأيت ربك? Did you see your Lord? Meaning in the ascension. He said, قال نور أن أرى, a light. How am I going to see him? So this is at least part, and it has been, I think this has been repeated by Aisha al-Mu'minin radiallahu anha, and it is something that not all scholars agree to the nature of or whether the Prophet ﷺ saw Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but it cannot be seeing like a three-dimensional or four-dimensional object, and this is why it's very appropriate that the Quran uses the fu'ad. So it's the state of the heart. أفتمارونه على ما يرى. Now the narrative shifts to the pagans, to the idolaters, the polytheists of Mecca. How can you, meaning the pagans, dispute with him, with the Prophet ﷺ, regarding what he saw? And of course, let's put it this way: it's the Prophet ﷺ. It's both. It's not a vision. For if someone has a vision, or have someone, so if you have a dream, just if you have a vision while you are sleeping, for example, or no one will say no, you cannot have a dream about going somewhere. I dreamt like going to Tokyo. Nobody will say no, you cannot dream about going to Tokyo. So it's not a vision. Otherwise, there would have been no dispute at all. When the Meccans challenged the Prophet ﷺ, he said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala unveiled Jerusalem for him, and he started describing it to them, and they knew Jerusalem. They were traders and they traveled north. In fact, Abu Sufyan, radiallahu anh, he was not a Muslim yet when he met with Hercules in Jerusalem. So they knew. So Prophet ﷺ described it to them as if he was looking like exactly today. You just look at a video call, something like just to bring it closer home. And they went and they told Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, your friend, your fellow, he said this and that about the night journey. He said if he said it, then it's true. This is how he became known as a Siddiq. رضي الله عنه. ولقد رآه نزلة أخرى, and he certainly saw now the angel descending a second time عند سدرة المنتهى, at the lot tree of the most extreme limit in the seventh. It's basically, let's put this way, literally at the lot tree of the most extreme limit. Sidra is the lot tree. Al-Muntaha, most extreme limit. Al-Muntaha is basically the where no creature can go beyond, if you will. And usually this is the case. And this is in the seventh heaven. عندها جنة المأوى, near which is the garden of يأوي مأوى. This is basically, you have that sense of, مأوى is like your residence, your home, your, okay. So, but here it alludes to the, of course, the garden in the sense of in the hereafter, the eternal residence. إذ يغشى السدرة ما يغشى, while the lot tree was overwhelmed with splendors, with heavenly splendors. ما زاغ البصر وما طغى. The Prophet's sight never wandered, nor did it overreach. It did not wander, which also means that he saw what he saw. Definitely he saw. رأى من آيات ربه الكبرى, and this is really, this verse attests to the ما زاغ البصر. لقد رأى من آيات ربه الكبرى. He certainly saw some of his Lord's greatest signs. He saw what he was told to see, okay? What he was permitted to see. He saw scenes that will take place on the day of judgment, almost like a preview. And now back to the idol worshippers. أفرأيتم اللات والعزى ومناة الثالثة الأخرى. Now have you considered the Lat and Uzza, the idols, and the third one, Manat as well? ألكم الذكر وله الأنثى. Do you prefer to have sons while you attribute to him daughters? The Subhanallah, this is something in China. Just think about it. This is not when they had the one-child policy. They wanted to have a baby boy. Since it's only one child, they want to have baby boys, and this created really an imbalance in the demographics. More men than women. It became a challenge to find a wife later on, and this policy will have an impact. It will have an impact, like the demographically, the population of China will it will not continue to grow or even remain the same. As there will be a negative impact on the population, total population. تلك إذن قسمة ضيزى. Then this is truly a biased distribution. إن هي إلا أسماء سميتموها أنتم وآباؤكم ما أنزل الله بها من سلطان إن يتبعون إلا الظن وما تهوى الأنفس ولقد جاءهم من ربهم هدى. These idols are mere names that you and your forefathers have made up. Meaning you call them gods. You call them gods. There's nothing except the name. There is a tangible object out there, but they have added the name. Made out of stone, made out of wood, made out of clay, made out of dates. Like Umar al-Khattab, before Islam, he used to make his own idol from dates, and whenever he got hungry, he would eat it. Dual use. So this practice, of course, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala never authorized, never decreed. They follow nothing but inherited assumptions and whatever their souls desire, whims, although true guidance has already come to them from their Lord. In fact, if you think about these, we do have a story in the Qur'an, the people of Moses, Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam, the children of Israel, after they have been delivered from Egypt, and they saw the signs. They saw the signs that came, like the miracles that took place at the hand of Prophet Musa alayhi salam. And they saw ultimately, whether it's basically his staff consuming the magic of the magicians, and the magicians becoming Muslim, like they became believers in the universal sense. They saw the signs that were punishment really for the Egyptians. They saw ultimately a massive sign when they crossed the sea, and they saw the Pharaoh and his soldiers drowning. And almost in no time asked Prophet Moses, peace upon him, to create for them idols like what people are having. The past, obviously, they know about other cultures. In fact, their own culture in Egypt. They wanted a statue, an idol to be worshipped. And that's so when he went to meet with his Lord, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Samiri created for them a golden calf. They created a god, Ajl, a calf, out of all possibilities. And basically it is something that they had in their hearts. The physical calf, the golden one. Prophet Moses, peace upon him, said that لنحرقنه ونسفنه في اليم نسفا. We'll burn it and we'll spread it all over the body of water. Al-Yam, it could be a river, it could be a sea, but it's what's in their hearts. So you can destroy something, an external thing, but you need to destroy that which is inside the hearts. And the Prophet ﷺ, he dealt with that which was in the hearts first, and then when the physical destruction of the idols surrounding the Kaaba took place, when Muslims conquered Mecca, Fatah Mecca, it was acceptable. That's it. They knew that this is. They knew through and through. They knew all the way. Inshallah, we'll begin with verse 24 and the beginning of the next session. Inshallah. Till then, subhanakallah wa bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.